Good morning, my fellow travelers on Spaceship Earth. It is I, and I am Guy. I forgot our music. What music are we doing today? We've got all these options now. We've got romantic, classical, epic, cinematic, world music, corporate, indie rock, acoustic. Play acoustic. See what that turns out like. All right, back to the drawing board with us. Man, not the drawing board. Back to the mines. Okay, doing an unwrap on a large, complicated object isn't easy. As you probably have noticed. Okay. Next thing we need to make sure we do is get all of the already built stuff out of the way so we can do this. So the first thing on here is Linda or Lisa Newland saying, please give me a friend request. I don't know who you are, and this is totally the 21st century. Who actually does that? Who actually goes, oh, you've asked for a friend? You know what? I'm going to sign up for a whole bunch of spam. Why wouldn't I do that? That seems like a perfectly great idea. I mean, is that a thing that we do here? I don't know. But I'm a kid of the 80s, and boy, we learned the hard way. You sign up for something, you're getting spam. 'Tis the nature of the beast. So if you are a real human, forgive me for being cynical, but it is what it is. I don't have the spoons to unsubscribe from 50 things because I just got subscribed to a million things. Yadu. because it'll drive me crazy. Oh, that's aggravating. That's not cool. Ever wonder why it takes so long to UV map something? Here's why. Because we missed some pieces. For example, on this leg. Right? We've missed not just that, but the intake manifolds on both sides. in the world? Selecting everything but the thing I needed to select. Like the back of the door. Why is it selecting the back of the door? It's so strange. That's weird. Oh, I know why. Hey, what is? Oh, the acoustic theme. Is that what we're doing here? Are we using the acoustic theme? Is there a theme? Not gonna see. How you doing, Matt Art Lover? Sorry, I was. There hasn't been anybody on my stream so far all morning. So for the last like 40 minutes, nobody's been here except one spammer. Yes. So I am working on my I am UV mapping my fighter, which is kind of hard to see, but I messed up some of the UV maps, so I'm trying to fix those UV maps. But yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Like I said, I haven't had anybody on my stream this morning, so I was kind of getting used to kind of just grooving over here, and so I'm sorry I missed you. I saw you. I just now looked up, and there's like 5 or 6 posts, so I apologize. So I'm using Blender, and it's a free download, so you could download it for free if you are interested and start working with it. Moreover, if you want to, you can download Blender and ask me how I'm doing stuff, or ask me, and I can try to help you because I'm more than willing to help. You are in that inclined. You're interested in the work. That's fair. That is fair. So what I am doing right now is placing all of these pieces. Oh, you're just learning modeling. Yeah, well, I'm having a devil of a time with my modeling because it's not easy. Because I don't make it easy for myself. Very rarely do I make it easy for myself. And this model is zero exception. It is exactly as complicated as my previous models. So, let's see. I have probably, I'm moving in on 20 years with 3D. I started out with 3ds Max in the turn of the millennia. And I'm actually I have to wait a while, or I actually had to wait quite a bit because I started out as a um, comic artist. And this is actually for my comic. And what I'm doing is I make the 3D models in my comic so that I don't have to redraw these things. I'll show you the end result here. I'll move to this here. And I will come out here and I will show you what this looks like when we are done. Let's see here. When it's complete, these models are rendered out like this. That's a long time. It is. But I make these 3D models look like they're hand drawn, and then I don't have to hand draw them over and over and over. I mean, this picture took me, what, 5 minutes to make? Because all I did was just render the model and then render it again and then render it again and change its pose and change all the things, and including, as you can see here, I dropped the landing gear down, so there's gear doors and things like that. I actually have to go back and rework on the kitty wake a little bit because she's got a couple of weird problems that I didn't discover until I'd done an export on her. The guys at the Blender forums recommended that I go on ahead and do all the bone work and link work in Blender before moving it out to DAZ Studio, which is what I use for this, for the render. And I'm actually kind of now starting to go, well, if I'm already doing all the bone work in here, why am I going to DAZ Studio? Maybe I don't need to. It is a quicker way of getting things done. Let's see if I can find some other examples. One of the other things I'll do is I'll render scenes that way too. So, for example, here is somebody's quarters. Beacon? No, I hadn't planned on going to Beacon. Isn't that in Chicago? Or is it an Anstra name? Where's Beacon? Right, right. It's always about the money, isn't it? Yeah. So, LA. LA. I gotcha. I'm in Denver. That's at least, I don't know where you are, but I'm in Denver, which could be closer. It's all relative, as my dad would often say. It's very relative. But March, yeah. I stay local uh, the local or in the scene if I can. So, all right. So I'll explain to you kind of what I'm doing so that you can follow me if you want here. Um, so my comic involves Mecca. I love Mecca. I have always loved Mecca. It's a thing. And so my fighter jet, usually all of this is packed up underneath it um, as thrusters. Denver. No, Denver is in Colorado State, the state of Colorado, almost in the middle of the United States. I am almost in the very, very center of the United States. Not quite, a little bit to the west. But yeah, in the United States, there's like a state that's called Colorado. It's square. Well, it's a rectangle. And we're right in the middle of that state. So, yeah, very much in the center of America. But that does mean that LA is kind of a haul. It's kind of hard to get to LA. Almost everything is a long run, you know. All right. So what I did was originally when I did the UV mapping on this, I UV mapped it. Um, Absolutely, I'm all about this. Ah, wait, take a break for a second here and chat with you. Well, that's a good question. You could be from pretty much anywhere. We've got a couple of people who are on this forum who are from Sweden. We got one person from Sweden. We've got one person from the Mongolian steppe who shows up in the middle of the day. I've got a couple of people who, so you could be pretty much from anywhere. Yes, I'm okay. I, I, so when you get to be old, you have to start wearing a compression glove on your arm because you get carpal tunnel. So, where are you from? I'm going to guess somewhere in Europe. And that's my guess. A European country of some sort. That's my guess. It's just that the compression glove makes my hand itch, makes my skin underneath there itch. So, where are you from, mad art lover? From Asia? Which part of Asia? Not East Asia? So you're not out in Mongolia with Red, my buddy Red, who lives out in Mongolia on the Mongolian steppe. Ugh, it must be really cool. A few hints. I take all hints. I like hints. Famous for your spices. That sounds like India to me. Bangladesh or let's see where. I don't know. Maybe Sri Lanka. That'd be my guess. Yes, definitely India. And you, also, ISRO has been IS, ISRO or ISRO also got the Chandrayaan 3, which has come back from its little trip too. It is India. I have a buddy who lives here, but he is has family in India, and so he often goes back and forth to India all the time. So he is often over there, which is great. I'm very pleased with ISRO or ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. They've been doing a lot of really good work, and it's just really cool. I think that's been, and I mean, you guys are working to put your first astronaut on the moon by 2040. Your internet's failing you. Oh no, don't leave me, Mad. If your internet fails you, I will still be here. Buffering a lot. I'm so sorry, man. I'm sorry to hear that, my brother. I have been there. Yes. So I am a big space fan. Of course, I love NASA, naturally, but I also am a fan of any space agency that is getting into space. Any space agency is good. So I'm proud of all of the space agencies when they do their jobs, and they do their jobs well. And ISRO, I guess we call that Israel, Israel, because it'd be India, so Israel. So ISRO is most certainly a space agency to be proud of. My home space agencies will always be NASA, naturally, and JAXA, because I have a lot of connections to Japan. So those are the space agencies that I watch the most, but I also want to come visit sometime and watch Israel do their jobs and stuff. But I also am weird and want to go to Kazakhstan to go to Star City so I can watch the Russians launch rockets too. Because I'm not politically charged usually. I don't have a lot of politics that I get into too much myself, so I prefer to just watch spaceships do spaceship things. Because spaceships, oh good, thanks. Spaceships are awesome. All right, we got to go back into the fight here, into the fray. Select all the pieces. Sometimes I have to put it in both modes to make sure it selects everything. And then when we put it into edit, now I can come on here and do this. One time, my buddy went to India and he got onto my show and talked to me from India from a taxi. It was very funny. He got pretty good connection. I was pretty impressed. It was better than I expected it to be. You're trying to make a game. What game are you making? Okay, the music's starting to really sound. Here, let's try this. You just have the story, but what kind of game would it be? Would it be like a RPG, first-person shooter, or? You know, I think you are doing better than most game designers because most game designers I know tend to make 3D action open world. Oh, yeah. I like those. Most designers I know start with, I have a cool game concept, and then, oh, maybe I'll put a story in here or something. They decide to do the story later. I think that's a mistake. So I like what you're doing. It's much, much better, I believe. All right, here we go. Oh, you're doing well. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry. So I make my own comic because I don't want to have to do the whatever it is that people want you to do to project that like that. Make my own comic, and then hopefully someday we'll like my comic, But I don't have to worry about bosses telling me to do it certain ways or I can do it my way. Here's the thing. Creativity is all about what calling you get. And if your project has called to you, you're creative. It's not about talent or skill or things like that, because all of those can be built. You can work on those. It's all about practice. What's the important part is whether you have the desire, the calling to you. My story calls to me. Your story calls to you. So don't worry about it. The rest of it will come. Just do what you need to do. Answer the call, I think people put too much stress on a road not taken. Maybe, yeah, I think that's Robert Frost as well. I believe you are correct. I think people put way too much thought in, or way too much weight into, you know, whether they are the type of person to do a thing or not. I think that's silly. You need to do what you need to do. Sometimes you just need to do the thing, you know? All right. We've now done 1 foot. The foot. It's cracking me up. I have to go fix other ships too, but I need this one for my comic because the next issue of my story has search and rescue teams. And so the search and rescue teams send out 2 of these fighters and 1 of the MPVs. The MPV stands for multi-purpose vehicle. It's like that. You can see that the MPV has legs too when it's in walking mode, but it also has flight mode, space mode like this. So the MPV then, it sends 2 of these fighters out in an MPV. Mm. So interestingly, you will start your story sort of with the ending of a trip, right? So he's coming to the end of his journey, and you'll be like, and here's the real story. I like that. That's cool. It's like subverting your your expectations. Oh no, that's not good. That sounds bad. I mean, good. Like it sounds like a good story, but it sounds bad for our protagonist. All right. Now we have a leg and a foot. Lots and lots of practice. Even with lots of practice, though, I don't feel like I'm as good of an artist as some others, obviously. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, and that's fine. I'm not trying to compete with other people. I'm only competing with myself, as we all should be, right? I feel like I messed something up still. Like, where is? I'm still missing a piece of this leg. Not that leg, the other leg, this leg, because we're still missing some very important pieces here. And see, I've got the thrust cone and parts of the ducted fan, but like I'm not seeing this piece. There it is over here, but I'm not seeing which means I missed it. Yep, I missed it. You got gator fillet. Oh, hey, Mad, that can is he's a buddy of mine, a fellow artist, but that's also automated. So that's one of his automatic responses on his channel. And um, it is so you'll have to forgive. Oh, you're talking about me. So actually, hey, Mad, let me ask you to on Twitch. You're on Twitch? Yeah. If you will go look for GS Davis Art, I'm actually Guy. Ken is the other dude. He is a friend of mine, and we work together all the time. But he is right now working today, so he can't be on stream. So it's just me. So I'm Guy. I like your narrative. I think it's a great narrative. I like it a lot. I think it'd be an interesting game. I also think it might be an interesting story. Like, you might want to consider writing it. Oh no, you're not hearing anything. Is it me? No, I seem to be doing well, maybe not. Am I? You are welcome, my friend. You are always welcome. I'm a fan of gargoyles. Pepper, if you're out there, I'm a fan of gargoyles. So sometimes it takes practice, and you just have to kind of keep going. Do you know what? The best storytellers are not the ones who have the most skill in writing, or the most skill in music, or the most skill in anything. It's the ones that have perseverance. Because a lot of people have to give up, or they do give up. It has nothing to do with your skill level, and has everything to do with whether you persevere or not. I mean, frankly, Stephen King's writing is horrible sometimes. I'm an English teacher, or was an English teacher at least, and his writing is horrible. His grammar is bad. He does. I mean, sometimes it's just downright horrible. And he's only known because he perseveres. He kept submitting his stories and kept submitting his stories over and over and over until finally somebody said, oh, okay, I'll give you a try. And his ideas are really interesting, but his writing skill was really bad, especially in the Richard Bachman days. Okay, I'll see you later. It was good talking to you, Matt. Goodbye, bro. Goodbye. Have a good day. Take care. Be careful. We'll see you later. Finishing that statement, it's not that I hate Stephen King. I actually like some of Stephen King's work. Stephen King legitimately scared the bejeebers out of me whenever I was reading his books. I mean, I have read some stuff that hasn't really affected me at all, but man, I gotta say, the story Sundog, ugh, that one freaked me out. I don't know. And I was 18 too. I wasn't even it would have been different if I was like a baby, but I wasn't. Something about Sundog, just absolutely. It's in the show or it's in the book Four Past Midnight. If you ever want to read a good scary story from Stephen King, I liked Sundog, which actually that's one of my favorites, Four Past Midnight, because it has the Langoliers, which is a remarkably science fiction-y story for him. It's got a very science fiction feel to it. So I dig the Langoliers. Man, seventh grade, I had a teacher. His name was Dennis. Good guy. And he started reading us Four Past Midnight. And woof, I dug it. But like I said, I've never been freaked out like I was with Sundog. Wow, that one just really messed with my world. It's like I didn't know what to do with that one. That was like such a weird thing. So, how you doing out there, Brent? Haven't seen you today. I started out slow because I had a whole bunch of chores I wanted to do this morning before I got started. We had to do dishes and had to change the trash and like all the normal stupid little chores you got to do in a day. And so I was down there doing that, and that started me out slow. So I have to go down to the school today and get my student ID done and any stupid paperwork. And I know how this all works because I've been to college before, so nothing new under the sun for me. Certainly, I'm not going to have to fight. Are you driving now? You in the middle of Nowheresville? Please be in the middle of Nowheresville if you're texting me. As your local resident driving instructor, you know I cannot. I have to watch out for your health. You're back in the office. Gotcha. It'd just be brutal if you were, All right. Well, we've come a long way, baby. We've come a long way. On this, I think I have finally gotten this leg correctly done. Hopefully. Anyway, it's finals week at college, so I don't think I'll be running into any of my buddies. No, let's not do that way. Let's do this first. Then do this. That's this internal thrust cone in there. I don't know if I'll ever need that to be mapped out, but just in case I do. Might be better. Can I put it like right there? Maybe. No, I'm going to put it in where I should do it this way. And we still have one missing piece here, don't we? This guy. I know he's out here somewhere. Damn it. Maybe this way? Yeah. Nope, 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 nope. Well, I can't get her that. I can do that. And park it. There we go. Now that should be. Oh, no, look, we're missing a piece here. This guy. Where's this plate? Why are these things all screwed up? It's reinserted itself over on this side, like inside these. That's not what it needs. And like there's this there, here's the other part of the leg, the other leg. So it's like it piled it on top of one another. Damn it. It doesn't, I don't need your help here, people. All right. I'll rotate this 90 degrees and put it in right there. All right. Now this should be every piece of this leg except obviously the front. That's why it's doing that. I see. And that means these two. Which explains why it's out there in the middle of, that was what it looked like, was the front part of this leg. I still see this, which doesn't seem to be in place, and this, which also doesn't seem to be in the right place, which makes me wonder if this is some other aspect of in here that I'm missing. Well, maybe. Well, whatever we're doing, we're saving it here because we're going to roll out here in a minute. We still have all of this here that still needs to be figured out where that belongs, right? You can see pieces of it there. You can see definitely inside the landing gear bay. And this is pivots around the centerpiece there. I'm going to make those just black. The hard point lock-in points will also just be black. This pivot around the outside is going to be black. And we've still got to do this entire foot and the canopy. So we still have some pieces that still need to be worked on. We'll get there. So That's in our next piece here. But at the moment, it is 11:14, and it is time for me to move on to going and getting my student ID and things. I need all that stuff so I can go back to college. I also need to sit around and talk to people at different departments. Hopefully, I can go to the Japanese department and figure out where that is. So once I do, then I can go talk to them and say, hey, how do I get into this section of Japanese? You know, what we're doing that. So I will talk to everybody later. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you tonight. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Have a good day.